All right, get out your pens. We're going to talk about how to become an amazing front-of-the-room person. You can use this stuff at your work as well, everybody. I'm going to give you 6 ways to rock your meetings. The first one is a platform springboard from Renee's great talk this morning, which is health. It's in this order. You take care of your health first, then you take care of your family, then you take care of work stuff, and then you do Rotary. And that doesn't mean you do Rotary at midnight. You can do Rotary first thing in the morning. You can do it throughout the day. I like to do Rotary at the edges of the day because Rotary is not my whole life. It wasn't even my whole life when I was a governor. I had exercise programs. I had stuff I wanted to do. We found a way to make it fit. Yes, it was like a game of Tetris trying to organize the day, but you can do it. If I can do it, you could do it. There are people that say you can't be you got to be retired to hold an important office in Rotary. I was a traveling speaker in my district governor year. You can do it. I would fly home from the airport to go home to ring the bell for my club and go back to the airport again. You can do it. Okay, so, and by the way, we were in the line for the buffet for lunch, and I heard the hotel people talking, because this is the second meal they've served today, and I heard the hotel people, they're watching the buffet, and they go, people are eating differently at lunch. They did. Not only than they did at breakfast than they ever have before. What's going on here? The second piece is engagement. You have to get better at engagement if you're going to lead from the front of the room. I'll give you some examples. The first is compliments. You should get really good at giving compliments if you're going to be the president of your club. There are 2 types of compliments, everybody, inside and outside. Outside compliments are the foundation of our society. We see it, and then we say it. So we see a color that somebody's wearing, that color looks good on you. Did you get your hair cut? You got some sun last weekend. We see it, then we say it. And people love these kind of compliments, but they don't hold a candle to inside compliments, and these are the things you cannot see about the other person. Like what? Their energy, their spirit, their enthusiasm, their sense of duty, their honor, all those things. You compliment people on stuff on the inside, and they will move closer to you. They will be your posse because they'll know you get them for who they are. It's a beautiful thing. Inside compliments. I want you to do something called name checking. It used to be called name dropping. It's now called name checking. I did a cluster of them at the beginning of my talk because I know people like to hear their names. And you should do that at all your president meetings. You should be doing shout outs to people. You're really good at this. It's so good to see you. Nice to see you. So don't get all mired up in your own duties and forget that you actually have live people in the room that want to hear their favorite word, which is what? Their name. Excellent. Thank you. Also, I want you to use something called the 5-column business or 5-column agenda. It's a meeting agenda. I'm going to do the 5 columns for you from left to right. Here we go. The first column is how many minutes the segment will take. If you're doing a 1-hour meeting, the first segment may only be 3 minutes, and all those segments will add up to 60. So the first column is how many minutes the segment will take. The second column is the type of segment it is. Only 3 things happen in meetings. Am I going too fast for you? You got it? 3 things happen in meetings: announcements, discussion, and action. Those are the only 3 things. Announcements are very quick. Discussions take time. Even action, a vote to do something, happens pretty quickly. And you can budget your time accordingly. If somebody says, we need to talk about this, no, we don't need to talk about it. It's just an announcement. The third column is the topic matter itself. The fourth column, the fourth column is the champion of the topic. Don't make yourself the champion of every topic, or your club will get what's called president fatigue. Some of them have it already, and you haven't even started yet. President fatigue means they shut off when they hear the sound of your voice. There's too much of it. When you have other voices in the meeting, it's like changing the gears in the car, in the old stick shift cars, when you change the gear in the car and it jolts a little bit. If a man's been talking for 20 minutes and a woman starts talking, everybody goes, what's this now? And vice versa. So you want different voices in the meeting, and different champions will help you get there. The 5th column is results. What happened as a result of all of this stuff we did today? Did we make a decision? Is it still on the agenda for next week, or is it falling off because it's not important after all? So the 5-column meeting agenda. The third component I want to share with you about how to be more effective with meetings is influence. Influence. Now, Rotary is what's called an egalitarian organization. That means we're all the same. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. We're all the same. We're all equal. Sounds good on the surface. But as president of the club, you cannot be like everybody else. If you're like everybody else, nobody's going to listen to you. You must be presidential. And here are some quick ways to do that. I want you to think about marrying your superpower to the Rotary cause of your choice through your club, through the lens of your club. So, for example, if you're good at logistics, or you're good at marketing, or maybe you're good at numeracy, you're good with numbers, you're probably in the right kind of person to schedule what's called a 100-person event for your club. I'm a big proponent of 100-person events because in a relatively small town, if you put 100 people in a room for something, it's a thing. People like that. The media shows up. People are talking. Everybody's going to this. It's called critical mass in marketing. And you want to do events that have critical mass. So 100 people is a critical mass type of a program. Also, you would use something that I call it the yell. It's a kind of a mean phrase. Yell at the dog voice. You know, how many of you have pets? Pets? Hello, in the stripe. Do you have pet at home? Nothing. Nope. Do you not like animals? What the? Okay. Who's got a dog? All right. What's the dog's name? Leo. Leo. What kind of dog is Leo? Lab Great Dane mix. So he's a little guy. Does Leo ever do anything wrong? Daily. And when Leo does something wrong, do you say, Leo, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with you, Leo. That's just not acceptable. Or do you yell at the dog? Yes, you do. Tone of voice, same thing. This is what I'm talking about. So when you use your yell at the dog voice with the club, now here's the difference. Watch my expression, if I don't smile, it sounds like I'm yelling at the dog. Leo, what are you doing here? Leo, why did you do that? But if I smile, I'm happy to see Leo. Leo, what are you doing here? And that's the voice I want you to use with your club. Don't tell them the backstory, just do it. Also, some of you will be charged with reading at the podium because President has to do lists and read stuff. So I'm going to show you a technique for not getting lost. Because when you get lost in the front of the room, it's a demerit. Your club won't see anything because they're cool people. But if you're befuddled all the time and you're confused all the time, it's going to start to show up on your record somewhere. So if you're, for example, imagine... Sir, would you stand up and hold the microphone for me? Just hold it right there, thank you. So imagine now I'm at the podium, the mic's here, and so if I'm right-handed, I'm going to gesture and wave, you know, I'm going to gesticulate with my right hand. My left hand, I'm using my index finger to read down the list because I know I don't want to read to my club, so when I look up, if I don't have any indicator of where I'm at, when I come down, I'm lost again. So that index finger never leaves the page. And I'm talking and reading and talking and reading, and that's how you don't get lost when you're reading at the podium or the lectern. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, let's do the fourth piece, which is marketing. I made a bold statement on social some time ago, and I have a group on Facebook for marketing. It's free. It's called Get the Word Out Now. And it will help you grow your club and raise more money and get attention. It's free. Get the word out now. And I posted on the site, I said, you know, if you're a president-elect of a club and you're not on Facebook, it's going to be a long year. Because that's how we market now. Facebook is free. And Rotary doesn't have money to market. Most of the time, we don't. And the president's not on Facebook. Our club had a speaker chair for a long time that wasn't on Facebook. And people would ask questions about the speaker, and the speaker chair is like, la, la, la. They don't see it. They're not on Facebook. They're asking if they can speak to the club. Speaker chair doesn't see the message. You got to play with you got to fish where the fish are. You got to play in traffic if you're going to do marketing. When you post to Facebook, I want you to look for something called a 10 response post. 10 response posts. So anytime you post on behalf of Rotary, you should do this with your personal posts too. You're looking for 10 pings back from people. Now, all posts aren't created equal. A like is the least valuable. When somebody likes your post, it's worth something, a little dopamine hit, but it doesn't have the currency of a comment. And a comment doesn't have the currency of a what? Of a share. That's the holy grail. You get stuff to people to share your stuff, that means it's worth something. If they don't share it, it's not worth anything, you see? And so when you're promoting events, remember that. You want to get 10 response posts if you can do that. Those of you emailing, and please tell me you have 2 lists in your club. You have a club list and you have a Friends of Rotary list. These are the people that would come to your events, donate money, do things for the club. If your club has 30 members in it, your distribution list should be 100x. That's 3,000 people in your community. That's how you get 100 people to come to your event. You build that list, you curate it, you only send them good news, and then they patronize you. That's how it works. Most clubs are terrible at this. They don't have the patience to curate the list and collect the emails. But it's not hard. If you do email, group emails, that kind of a thing, bulk emails, you're going to look for a kind of a chain of events. The first thing you have to get is what's called a delivery rate. So if you have 3,000 people on your list, you're looking to see how many people actually took delivery on it. Do you have a lot of dupes? Are there people that have been deceased that are on your list? They're not opening your mail. So once you get the open rate, then you're looking at the delivery rate. You're looking at something called the open rate. How many people actually opened your email? Because if they didn't open it, it's like they didn't get it. Then you're looking for something called the read rate, which is very difficult to measure. And the holy grail in email is what? Click-through rate. It's called CTR. You knew that. CTR. Did they click on something in the email? And that could be measured easily too. It's a registration link. It's a chance to donate money. Did they click? Because if they're not clicking, you're not doing it right. You could do it better, is my point. And that's how you do email. So we've got health, engagement, influence, marketing, now time management. Listen to me carefully. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to say to you today. Presidents, the work gets done between the meetings, not at the meetings. There's too much eating and food spitting at your meetings. The work gets done between the meetings. And I believe this so fervently when I was in charge of stuff. I'm kind of in a different space now. But when I did the club president, when I did the district governor, I would call people on the way to the meeting so I knew what I was walking into. It was almost like a Saturday Night Live skit. I would call them and they'd say, yeah, Michael, what do you call? Did you dial me by accident? I'm going to see you in a few minutes. And I said, no, I haven't heard from you all week. I want to make sure that you got done that thing we said you were going to do. Well, they got the hang of that pretty quick. I was going to call them on the way to the meeting. It became like a joke. And then I would call people right after the meeting on the way home because I knew where to find them. They were in their car. And I'm using all that time because I got other things to do with my life besides Rotary. So these are little time management tricks that I think that you can use to success as well. Recently, we joined a group called the Detroit Economic Club, and it's called the DEC. And Steve Gregorian runs the event. He has hundreds of people come to lunch. And it's interesting because Steve's got this little motto when he's wrapping things up. He says to the group, he says, on time, every time. On time, every time. And I look at my watch, and son of a gun, he's ending the meeting right to the minute. You have to value other people's time. You know that, right? And so I know a lot of clubs, they couldn't get out on time if the fire alarm went off at exactly the time the meeting ended. People wouldn't leave. So you got to make it clear to people, we're starting on time, we're ending on time, and they will perform for you. Finally, we have legacy. This is not about ego. This is not about you, being more important than the club or anything else. Just think about the answer to this simple question. How will people remember this next year, your year, 5 years from now? What will they say about Dennis's year? Will they say, oh yeah, well, that was the first year we raised $20,000 for a fundraiser. That was the year we went electronic on the payments. Or what about Denise's year, where they say, we didn't do much during Denise's year? Or will they say, That was the lost year. You know? 5 years from now, you mark my words, people are going to be talking about your year, and you need a legacy goal. And a good legacy goal would be something with a number, because numbers can be measured, and numbers can keep everybody accountable. Think about things like a $10,000 net fundraiser. And when I was president, not that I was the greatest president, but we had all these, I don't mean to be disrespectful, it was the best we could do at the time. We were doing these cheesy fundraisers, $2,000, $3,000. They weren't well managed. And I thought, we can do better than this, man. We should have a $10,000 net. But you know what we had to do to commit to that? We had to say no to all the cheesy fundraisers. They brought us the same thing they always bring us, and we had to say, nope, not doing it anymore. We're going to do a $10,000 net this year. And that's how we innovated the Viva La Vino wine tasting, which we did for a good 5 or 6 years, until that didn't work anymore, and then we had to find something else. And this is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. In my governor year, we did something called the $1 Million Dinner. What do you think the number was for that event? $1 million. And I'm sorry to say we didn't hit the number. We hit 1.2 million. Thank you. Not me, we, our team, 1.2 million. But we had our eye on something called the bullseye. Any idiot can aim at a target. But if you want exactly what you want, you have to aim at what? The bullseye. That's exactly what you want. And you have to identify that bullseye. Then you have to tell everybody what the bullseye is. You can do this. I know you can. Michelle, how are we doing on time, sister?
We were listening so hard, we haven't been paying attention to the time. You run a very exciting meeting.